All right, so we're into day 2 of week 2 of the SMC practice. This is a good one. I think this is quite tricky, and arguably, apart from the last day, arguably one of the most difficult questions we're going to look at this week. So pause the video, give it a go, back in a minute. All right, so how did we do? Now, I have to say, when I originally did this question, I did it quite a different way. And actually, when putting the video together, I actually did it a different way again. So I've gone with the second one I found, which I quite like, and I think it's a bit easy to explain. I think it'll make a bit more sense. But either way, see how you do, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so my method is as follows. So let's just write down what we have. So 3m plus 3 something equals 17. And I'm told that m, n and p are all positive integers, okay, so far. And then also, because 3m and everything's positive, it must be the case that m can't be greater than 5, because if it was greater than 5, I'd be above 17, and therefore that, of course, wouldn't work. So far, so good, but that gives me 5 options, and I could try them, but that seems not the right thing to do. The next thing to notice is my denominator here. So I'm doing 3 divided by something, and I know the n has to be greater than or equal to 1. I also know I'm taking the number n, which is greater than or equal to 1, and I'm adding something to it. So therefore m plus 1 over p must be greater than 1. Because again, I know that n and p are positive integers. Which means that when I take my 3 and divide it by this number, which is at least 1, the most this number can be is 3. In other words, I know I'm taking 3m plus something which is no more than 3, and that gives me 17, and the only solution this could be is for m to equal to 5. Now, from this point on, it's a bit of sort of clever comparison, so let's just carry on. So that means that the remainder bit is 3 over n plus 1 over p is equal to 2. Rearrange that equation, and I get m plus 1 over p is 3 over 2. Let's write the 3 over 2 as 1 plus a half. And just by comparison, you know I've written this as an identity, I get n is 1 and p is 2. It wants the value of p, so it's a, which is 2. Again, not a terrible question, but definitely a bit harder than the ones we've had before, and much harder than probably tomorrow's question, which technically should be tougher because it comes later in the paper. Like, subscribe, usual thing, and I'll catch you for tomorrow's video. Thanks all.